What kind of fucking bullshit is like?
Dude, he does this every week.
The bad news is that civilization is crumbling around you.
Wear a dog mask, cut your dick off, bomb Palestine.
The good news is that you are not alone.
There's butthole shaving videos.
Feel bad for the minorities in LA for having to deal with the white people in LA.
You have 5 till midnight, live every Monday at 8 p.m. where you join 5 Limp Bizkit Americans to laugh at the absurd nonsense of the end of history.
Shit show right there.
Sam, stop it!
Hey. Oh, Kyle's not here. What's up, guys? Apparently there's a ceasefire. I didn't know that, but now there's a ceasefire. I doubt it. Israel keeps calling ceasefires, and then we got to be careful with our words today. But they struck last week. We were talking about it. Israel struck Iran, and then Iran was striking Israel. And apparently somebody said, and I don't know if it's true, the Mossad boss got KO'd permanently in Minecraft. And then the U.S. struck Iran, I believe, with B-2s. And now we're here. And who's going to die for Israel? Not me.
Not I.
I don't think any of us are, to be honest. I think
Fuck that shit.
I think it's pretty crazy, but yeah, it's been a pretty crazy couple weeks. You know, a lot of shit flying around on Twitter. Yeah, I think I mean, the way Trump phrased the ceasefire, it's really weird how he phrased it. He made a whole post, but like, Iran is going to agree to a ceasefire in 6 hours, and like 12 hours after that, Israel will agree to the ceasefire.
Does this make any sense?
Yeah, it was really worded very
because
awkward.
that was announced, and then just a few minutes ago, apparently Israel did some strikes on Iran. So
Of course they
I am very confused about this ceasefire, but I don't know. Everyone's reporting, at least for right now, that Iran and Israel agreed to it, and negotiations came through Qatar or Qatar,
Always.
however you pronounce it.
Apparently it's Qatar, but I'm not saying that. Sounds like gay.
Fuck that shit.
Okay, we're calling it Qatar.
Guitar like guitar. Yeah, this is what Israel does. They make ceasefires and then bomb the shit out of the people they make ceasefires with. So
I just like, why do we like all these libs are always talking about broken treaties with Native Americans? And look, I love Native Americans. I'm like down with that, I guess. But like, they don't notice that everyone else breaks treaties all the time. Like Israel well, I guess a lot of the same people would also criticize Israel. So maybe that's not fair. But like, people are just breaking treaties. It's like nobody cares. They just
nobody gives a shit.
They just do what they can. It's stupid.
Yeah. The same thing happened with the Russians. They made that deal with the Russians a long time ago, back in like 2000. I don't remember the dates, but basically Ukraine never agreed to it. And then the German prime minister, after the war kicked off, was like, "Oh yeah, we just did that so we could stockpile ammunitions in Ukraine to keep the Russians back." And it's like, okay, so do treaties and diplomacy mean nothing?
Is it
like
just
I don't.
fake?
It's all fake and gay.
I think it might be, dude. It's kind of
It's all fake. Every week, it's all fake. Everything's fake. The bombs may be real. The bombs may be real, but you know, that's probably the only thing that's real in all of this. Like, I don't think there's Typo's talking about being a planikin again instead of a panikin. I don't think there is one. I don't think there's a plan. And if there is, it's not a very well thought out one.
Trust the plan. Q will say.
I mean, that's what it sounds. It gets more and more like that every time. We were talking about it on our show, and I think it comes out Wednesday, and we were like, we don't know if the U.S. is going to bomb Iran. And we recorded it Thursday last week, but it'll be out on Wednesday. And we were like, we don't know. We didn't want it to happen. And I mean, I want a ceasefire. I don't want more bombs being dropped, but I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. Like, I'm not just going to take their word for it. they're not truthful about anything else.
Are we blackpilling today, boys?
I don't think typo is.
No.
But in general, are we
I just
blackpilling?
think I don't really
I think we get
understand.
John
Like,
McCain.
it's just really weird how these it seemed that US gave like the Iranians some like, hey, we're going to bomb your nuclear site, like gave them advance warning. And they claim to have evacuated their people and claim to evacuate some of their equipment at least. And then Iran came and said that, hey, we're going to bomb your base in Qatar. And so we moved our aircraft, got our people shelter. So apparently, at least between Iran and America, there was no human casualties.
Dude, that is so stupid because they did the same thing when Trump, which this is usually with Trump, the thing that I appreciated the most about him was his foreign policy, but there were two areas that I can remember from his first term that I really criticized him on, and that was his dealings in East Asia between Taiwan, Japan, and Korea, who have a very, very delicate relationship that Trump was not helping by his actions, which I won't go into detail on. And then the other one was just offing Soleimani. That was crazy.
Yeah. We had a big episode about that.
Yeah, and when they took out Soleimani, who was the I think like basically the commander in chief of the Revolutionary Guard, which is like their main army, I think. It was a situation where they took that guy out, and then like this time, Iran needed to respond. So their response, the Americans, they like negotiated with them, like, hey, bomb this base and like try not to hurt, like we're gonna like try to make sure you don't hurt anyone. But like 8 Marines got like TBIs because they got missile struck. I guess nobody even got hurt this time, which is good, but also it's so stupid.
Just weird.
Like, why are we bombing people for appearances? Like, this is so dumb. Is it just for the money you get from like the defense contractors? Like, is that really all it's about?
Maybe a show of force.
Yeah, it's a show of force, but to who? Like,
I can only speculate. I really don't know. I think it's maybe a show of force against the Iranian people and Iranian government. Some people say it's a show of force against bigger adversaries like Russia or China. I really don't know, man. It's crazy to watch. It's just this tit for tat where no one actually gets hurt. And then, he announces this was a 12-day war and now it's over. And thank God for world peace. And it was like, what is going on, dude? He kind of just like post stuff, and that's kind of what happens like 90% of the time. And it's just like really strange. I don't know.
Yeah. Somebody in the comments, let me know how my volume is, by the way, on my mic.
You're good.
Am I good?
Okay. Yeah, you actually sound good tonight.
I changed the settings a bit. I was listening to old episodes. My mic is always bad in the older ones. I did not know. Yeah. Like, guys, I have professional equipment. I could have changed it the whole time.
We thought you knew what you were doing.
No, just not smart. Maybe I was too distracted by, the antics.
Yeah. We thought it was a bit, to be honest.
I'm exhausted. I mean, I'm exhausted with the politics.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you guys aren't even thinking of Raytheon's shareholders.
I guess I forgot about it. I didn't give them a thought.
What about Raytheon? Yeah, it really do be
what
like
about
that.
The Raytheon's shareholders?
Dude, like, what are we supposed to say today? We got 3 of us here. Nuclear war is like averted.
Yeah, the other 2 are getting shipped to Israel right now. So
the other 2 that are not veterans,
they got drafted. Yeah,
we served our time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, for me personally, a lot of it's there's a lot of fatigue. There's a lot of fatigue flying around right now. You know what I mean? But regardless of what fatigue you want to talk about, there's a lot of fatigue flying around. And it's just like our generation, I think, has grown up a lot different than previous generations and are growing up different than our younger generations. We're kind of in a weird spot where I think we're all just like this shit happens every fucking 5 years at this point, regardless of what war it is, somewhere in the Middle East or fucking between Russia or whoever, it doesn't matter. And so we're just like, do we have to pay rent? Is World War III starting? Are the nukes falling? What's going on? And we've had a lot of boy who cried wolf type like behavior from our government officials and government officials in other countries that I think all of us are just kind of like, I don't know what's going on anymore. None of it makes sense. It's all fake. And I guess I'll just wait until I start seeing the bombs myself.
Maybe that's the plan. They just confuse us and fatigue us of talking about it so that it's like boy who cried wolf. And then when they actually plan on doing it, nobody cares because they think it's more BS. And then we all get drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if this,
no, I'm not going back.
If this,
either.
like, let's just say if this holds, this is like maybe I'll wait till tomorrow morning if they're done shooting at each other, whenever this thing fully actually takes place, if it's real, the ceasefire. Well, everyone that like called for Trump's impeachment probably kind of looks like a fool now. Like Thomas Massey, unfortunately, he kind of like maybe shot his load a little too early.
For his impeachment?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I still agree with that. I think that was hugely like I mean, fuck Trump for me now. Like I voted for him, but like that, I voted for him for no war, and then he bombed Iran. So like, fuck you, Trump. I maybe other people disagree with me on that, but I don't like him now. I don't care. He can go fuck himself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know though. Like I thought this would escalate further, but somehow this is like de-escalating in a sense. And
I guess
if
it does de-escalate, then I can't blame him too hard. But like, I still don't like it. I think it was irresponsible.
Iran didn't have to communicate that they were going to bomb Qatar, and they did. And then Trump's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to respond to that." They did. They had to do that, and he said it in one of his posts. He's like, "They had to do that for domestic reasons," which is kind of crazy that Trump has this ability. I kind of like that about him. Is he just says the obvious part out loud? Like most politicians won't say that. They won't be like, yeah, Iran had to do this to show the save face, basically. Like he says that in his post. Most of the time, world leaders would not phrase things like that, but he just goes out and tells you like straight up, like, yeah, they had to do that, but we're not. It's like
opening up the curtain to what a regular politician wouldn't do. Like a regular politician wouldn't do that, but somebody who knows would read between the lines. And you would hear that from like a geopolitical analyst rather than from the president himself. And it is refreshing. So I don't know, maybe I was a little premature with my hating on Trump, but yeah, I freaked out on X. I don't know if you guys saw, I had a little bit of an emotional moment the other day. And I told people to unfollow me, and like 200 people unfollowed me.
Nice.
But here's the thing. Sam wants Iran to have the nuke, at least according to X. Yes. Not really, but kind of. Yeah, it's like, Israel got Israel wasn't supposed to have a nuke. JFK tried to stop them from getting a nuke. They got a nuke.
They have like 80 now.
Yeah, we don't know how many they have, but they've had nukes for like half a century. And like, to me, Iran, like, why should Iran not have nukes? They are a large, powerful country. France has nukes. France has nukes. Israel has nukes. UK has nukes. Korea. US, Russia, North Korea have nukes. Why should Iran not have nukes? Why is Iran not? China has nukes. Pakistan and India have nukes. Iran should. Iran, that list of countries, Iran should be on that list of countries. Like, it makes sense for them to have nukes. The country it doesn't make sense to have nukes is Israel. They're the odd one out on that list. So like, and to me, it's like, I don't think countries should have nukes. I say that as an American. Like, maybe I think it'd probably be better if no one had nukes, but like, people have nukes, but like, we decide that some countries aren't allowed to have nukes and then others are. And to me, Israel is way crazier and way more likely to cause like international destruction with their nukes than Iran is. So yeah, I think Iran having nukes is better than Israel having nukes. They treat Iran like they're some crazy backwards terrorist country, and that's just not the truth. They are a significant, advanced, large population, long-standing culture of a country. It doesn't make any sense to me. And they just assassinate anybody they want in their country, including the top general. That's how you treat Al-Qaeda. That's not how you treat Iran. We wouldn't do that to France. We wouldn't do that to so many other countries, but they like treat Iran like they're nothing, and they're one of the most powerful countries in the world. It doesn't make any sense. And the amount of restraint that Iran has in the face of taking this from Israel and the United States and NATO is wild, dude. It's like they are so restrained. So, like, yes, I don't care if Iran gets nukes. And if I did care that Iran had nukes, I would be like, if I were going to come out and be like, Iran shouldn't have nukes, it would be part of a larger thing of being like, all of these countries shouldn't have nukes. Pakistan shouldn't have nukes. Like, if Iran doesn't have nukes, then Israel shouldn't have nukes. Pakistan, India should not have nukes. France should, maybe France can keep them, but like, definitely, I would disarm Israel's nukes before I disarmed Iran.
Yeah, it's the ultimate deterrent, and that's just the name of the game that we're in nowadays. Like,
Libya gave up their nukes, got taken over. North Korea's regime still around. Don't give up your nukes. Never give up your nukes. Ukraine gave up their nukes, got invaded. Don't give up your nukes. You need nukes.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it's essentially, you can't trust anything coming out from the American administration. Like on one hand, even if you have a president, just say you do get a president that does diplomacy in good faith, you have no idea who they'll elect next. And if they just change their mind on a whim.
Well, look at Trump in the last like 3 weeks. Like,
he was working toward diplomacy, and then
we're working towards diplomacy, and then he bombed them.
Yeah.
Or he allowed Israel to bomb them, and then on top of that was like, we're not going to make another decision for the next 2 weeks. 2 days later, he bombed them, and it's like, okay, well then you cannot trust anything that comes from the American like political structure whatsoever. Like if it's diplomacy, you can't trust anything. And I think a lot of these countries have started to realize that. And I think the only thing that I can think of with Iran being as level-headed as it is Typo was talking about it a little bit, but they might just be neutered, dude. They just might not have anything. They have like no leverage right now. And that might be the reason why they're in the situation that they're in and that they've reacted the way that they have. I don't really know. Obviously, like there's other people that have talked about it. I'm not going to go and do that research and try to decide that. I take it from other people, but the only thing I can think of with Israel acting the way that they have, how we responded to what Israel did and what Iran did back to Israel in response. Maybe they just really have no leverage. And that is the reason why they want nukes.
Well, yeah, it's the ultimate leverage.
Yeah. And it really makes no sense. Like this whole thing makes no sense in the grand scheme of things. It's like we're just making decisions on a whim. Like, either Israel and the U.S. plan this and just sabotage their diplomacy for future countries, or Israel did this and the United States just reacted and went along with it. And either way, I said this looks bad for Trump. And they might have worked at a peace deal with it, but I think this just looks like on the surface and even deeper, it's not a good look for this administration in the end. And all of it to come to nothing. Like they're claiming now that their nuclear system has been deterred, and I don't even know if that's true. I don't know.
I mean, Iran's saying that it's not true.
Yeah, the bunker busters. There's a lot of talk about how deep they can actually go underground, and if they can actually hurt their nuclear capability that they're working on underground. Like no one actually knows that. I mean, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know. But they didn't even have, as far as I know, they didn't even have the nuclear weapon capability. They were still just enriching. it. So they didn't even have the bomb yet or anything.
So I have a video about that.
Okay.
It is Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart can be hit or miss, but he's one of the only mainstream guys who I think does hit relatively often. I like Jon Stewart. I don't know how you guys feel about him, but
he's hit or miss.
He is hit or miss, but he's at least hit or miss and not just miss like Trevor Noah or a lot of these other talking heads.
Absolutely. Colbert.
Yeah, Colbert is fucking pure garbage. Absolute terrible. So yeah, this is Jon Stewart on this BS.
Making a deal to keep Iran from enriching uranium? Actually, didn't we have a deal before our deal maker in chief so wisely pulled us from that deal? Why did this have to go balmy on Iran now?
And by next spring, at most, by next summer, at current enrichment rates, they will have finished the medium enrichment and move on to the final stage.
Iran is months away from having a nuclear bomb, says Netanyahu, in 2012.
2012.
And 2010 and 2009 and...
Why did we have to bomb Iran now?
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
Holy shit, that's why. Iran's only weeks away from having an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs, says Netanyahu. In 2015. 2015. Think about that. Back when we all thought, oh no.
And then you have like people on X today talking about how Iran is about to have nukes.
Yeah.
Weeks away.
The Republicans might nominate that madman Jeb Bush.
He's clapped.
Should have gone with the question mark. No, seriously, I'm not being facetious. I really want to know why we had to bomb Iran now.
We're going to show you Iran's secret nuclear files. Here's the warhead.
God.
Here's the bomb.
That's so stupid, dude.
For those just listening, it's like it's just like a triangle.
It's like it's just a cone. It's like a traffic cone. With a circle in it.
And that's from 2018. I don't know if Iran is any closer to having a bomb, but it is clear Israel now has the capacity to enrich their drawings. A hot war between Israel and Iran could threaten the United States. It's best we stay out of it.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying Israel took unilateral action against Iran and that the U.S. is not involved in strikes.
This was before we struck.
We're not involved. That's good. That's good.
The U.S. says it was informed beforehand.
Good neighbor policy. I mean, we were informed. They let us know. Still not being involved, really.
President Trump acknowledged yesterday that he was aware of the Israeli operation, and he gave it a green light.
It's still Israel's game.
Israel used American equipment during its initial strikes against Iran.
What the f*** are we doing?
And then we directly struck them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why you can't trust them at all. Like, you just can't trust what comes out of the political structure that is the United States when it comes to diplomacy inside the United States or diplomacy outside the United States. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're like they're just so back and forth too. Like it's mixed messaging all the way through. I think actually the logical conclusion is Israel did this, and the Trump administration maybe didn't know how to respond to it right away, because at first, they're saying it's unilateral, then they're saying like actually they helped planned it with them. So I don't know. It's so mixed messaging. You don't really know what's actually going on in there. And it's hard to tell because there's so many hypotheses and theories about like Isn't Israel leading this? Is America actually leading this? And it's hard to tell if it's like a mixed bag.
Yeah. Or even if like the individual people on the inside are like, there isn't really one country that's leading it. It's just individual factions. It's impossible to know. But I've started a poll in the comments of this. There are two options. Are you dying for Israel? Yes, I am a good goy. And no, I am anti-Semitic. Make your choices wisely.
Yeah. Are you a Nazi? Or...
I mean, we were talking about it. I just couldn't believe that it was like Iran bombed or Israel bombed Iran, and then right afterwards it was like pray for Israel all over Twitter. I was just like, I don't understand what is going on here. Like, why are we praying for Israel when they bombed Iran? Like, I don't get it.
The reporting I saw for when Iran like attacked Qatar, it said Iran attacks the United States air base in Qatar or unprovoked attack. And I was like, unprovoked? Unprovoked, dude? We just bombed them. Like, how is
bombed their whole country? What are you talking about?
How is it? They didn't even like attack us. They attacked one of our forward operating bases in an allied country. Like, we don't even take the blows if like it's just so crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us a warning, and they gave us a warning on top of that. They were like, "Hey, we're gonna bomb your air base. You might want to get everything out of there that you want." I did like seeing V2s getting used again, though. To be honest,
that's pretty cool. Just wish it was for something better.
I know.
Yeah, I did see a lot of whenever Trump announced this like end of the 12-day war. There's actually a lot of the like Zionist types that were like pissed. They were like, "What the hell? No, it can't be over." And I'm like, so I don't know if the ceasefires are gonna hold, if it's real. It seems like they're still fighting each other right now, but if it does hold, it's like so. You know, all that they were talking about, we can't let them get nukes. Then it changed to regime change. And that was like a huge
that ever works.
thing. Yeah. And even the administration was kind of like, I don't know if they full on said it. I don't remember if they full on said it, but they're kind of
people are definitely toying
with that line. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, I don't think a regime change is going to come from just bombing them. I don't think that's possible. It took years of bombing Syria and backing Al-Qaeda in Syria to get a regime change there. So
like a decade, more than a decade.
It was a long time. We had troops in Syria.
Is not as strong of a country as Iran. It was a pretty strong country, pretty developed country. Now it sucks because of what, unfortunately, our country and its allies did.
Yeah,
but
and
Iran is a powerful country. It's crazy. It's a very powerful country. I don't understand. Like, people treat it like it's the Taliban. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, they treated Assad like that too. Assad was like, he got his he was an eye doctor. He got his like doctorate in like England. His wife was raised in England. He married her, moved back to Syria. He was like a secular leader. He was wearing like a suit and tie. Like, he's not this like fanatical terrorist guy that they made him out to be. He was like honestly probably more Western than some of the Western leaders in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And they're making the Iranians, you know, they wear the Ayatollah. They kind of put on the show of their Islamics, like, what do you call those? Is Islamist or whatever. They kind of put on the show. But I mean, if you look at videos of their country, most of them look, you'll still see people in like, you know, the Muslim gear and stuff, but most of the time you see people in like street clothes, kind of similar to Americans. Like, they're not.
But all the
like, I literally saw
or hijab.
Yeah, most of the women at burqas. I literally saw nightclubs in Iran where it was like they looked like girls in America going to the club. Like, it wasn't like they were they make it out to be if they don't wear a maybe it's true in some parts of the country. I don't know. I don't know if it's even the Iranian government that enforces that. It could just be regular people that do that.
I think it is a legal requirement, but I'm not sure what the rules are.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I just know I've seen videos. You can go on like Snapchat and stuff and look at their country, and they're still suffering from the problems of modernity that our country is suffering. They may be just like 80 or 50, 20 years behind us or something. Like they're not this radical Muslim group that's out to destroy the world. Like that is just not, you can't paint them as the Taliban, like you say. Like it's just crazy to think you can. And plus they're like the 17th largest country in the world.
Yes.
They have a
exactly.
huge land mass. It's like Texas like times 2.5, and they have almost 100.
The Middle East and Eastern Asia. Like it's in a prime location. Like they are God.
Well, they're the like, I don't know what the term is, but how Germany was for Europe, like if you can keep Germany down, you can control Europe, is the like thought process of like the American empire. Like that was their thought. If they can keep Germany down, keep them, under the thumb of us, you can control Europe basically, because they're the largest powerful country there. And that's how they view Iran in the Middle East. So they're not under the thumb of the United States or Israel. And that's a problem to them because they can't control what their policies are. And there's a lot that goes into it. Yeah, there's like the Zionist aspect. There's also, that idea of like if we just give them liberal democracy, they'll all turn into Americans tomorrow.
So stupid, dude.
And vote for gay rights and vote for whatever they want their inner policies to be. But Iran, for better or worse, is a resistance to that. And
they don't allow usury.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they don't allow usury in their country.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Some good stuff about it.
It's just crazy, but
that's like
I don't know.
Law.
I'm hoping it's over. Yeah. All the rhetoric from the Trump administration right now is like they seem like, hey, we're done with this. And I hope that stays. But, who knows? Because he kind of backstabbed the diplomacy last time. Or at least that's what they said they did. But I don't know. They seem pretty serious about it. JD Vance right after Trump announced that JD Vance is on Fox News talking about this, of how it's over. We're going for peace now. So that's what they're trying to get to. They're really trying to like name this the 12-day war. So if it goes on, I think Trump will be pissed that he can't call it the 12-day war.
He'll just keep calling it the 12-day war. He's like, no, we ended that. It's been over.
They're just shooting at each other. They're still shooting at each other. And he's like, no, we were done with that 12-day war.
I declared it. What do you mean the war is still going on? I declared it the 12-day war. It's over.
That's kind of the problem with Trump too, is he'll just continue on with like the bit. I feel like he's just like, yeah, no, it's over. Like, it's not even a thing anymore. And they're still just like firing rockets. And you're just like, okay, I guess.
He just doesn't care, dude. Once he says it, that's law to him.
Yeah.
And
unless it's diplomacy.
In a lot of ways, though, like, I kind of, if you're going to be the hegemon of this, at least the Middle East, you should be able to tell Israel and Iran to be like, hey, knock it off. We're done with this now.
Yeah.
We're not doing this anymore. If that's your role you want to fill, but I think it's easy. And, even though there are enemies, I think it's easier to reign in Iran than it is to reign in Israel.
They're so much more reasonable. Israel is like a freaking girlfriend with bipolar disorder. It's insane.
Yeah. And she gets away with it too. And you just keep coming back to her.
It's because everybody thinks she's hot, man. Has anybody checked in on the Christian right lately? The American Christian right? And how crazy they've been on Twitter?
I mean, I don't know. There seemed to be it's kind of hard to tell what will happen from this because there seemed to be like major, at least almost fractures that were happening. A lot of people were against this, which, I can't even blame them. Like, there was people being like, oh, you just got to trust the plan. Don't panic. But at the same time, like, dude, we've been through this my whole life. We've been at war in the Middle East. So like even I kind of had a knee-jerk reaction at first. And I don't blame anyone for having a knee-jerk reaction. Like, you should be doing everything you can to stop another regime change war. And it seemed that we were going that way. All the Zionists were cheering. Trump was flirting with like actually saying regime change. So, I mean, even said like, it's not regime change, but I will make Iran great again. It's like, okay, well, what the hell does that mean?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
He's going to personally mentor the Ayatollah?
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Glenn Beck said his prayers were answered for Israel. Then again, are Mormons Christian? I don't know.
I don't think so. But like,
yeah, I don't.
I don't think. I mean, they added a new book, man. When you add a new book or take one away, you're a new religion. I feel like that's pretty fair. Like, no hate to Mormons, they're whatever, but like, they're not really Christian, in my opinion.
I have no dog in this fight.
Typo's been paid by the Mormon Mafia, dude. He's not gonna talk about him.
Dude, Mormons are legit, man.
No,
they're
fucking.
I think it was.
Shit. I see so many here. They're the worst.
When Katrina happened, it was the Mormons who got there first. I will say that.
I believe that.
Waffle House stayed, so there's always that.
Well, that's incredible.
Waffle House, Mormons, Waffle House. Waffle House stayed. Waffle House is like one of the biggest like charities in the United States. It's crazy.
Is it actually?
Yeah, they set up at every major like if they can stay open, they will stay open. They will feed people.
Yeah,
and
but
they
not
have
for free. They're just open as a business.
No, they do. No, they do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look up Waffle House's like charity actions during Katrina and stuff like that. They were crazy.
Well, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, the Waffle House is awesome. And you always get dinner in a show or breakfast in a show whenever you go. I just think I think it's been, like I said, I think people are a little fatigued, especially our generation when it comes to Middle East stuff. And you just can't trust anything out of the United States government when they say that this is real or this is real. So hopefully it's a ceasefire. I mean, I'd want there to be a ceasefire, but whether that's actually true, I don't think you can believe it. I think you just have to wait and see if it happens or not.
Well,
yeah, I don't know, man. I think this is going to be I honestly think in like the next week, we're just going to completely forget about this.
There's going to be something else new. You guys remember like a month ago when India and Pakistan were fighting each other and there was like a huge dogfight?
Yeah.
We just moved past that.
I mean, I didn't read much into this one because honestly, the memes about it were funnier. I didn't really read into what was going on, but it seemed Trump was at least he claimed. I don't know, but Trump was the one that actually brought him to the negotiating table about whatever.
Yeah, he loves to take claim for stuff like that. So who knows?
I wonder if I don't even know what their grievances were. Like, I don't even remember.
Well, Israel says they have nukes, I guess, but like they just always say that. I agree, Craig. Back on the Mormon stuff.
Well, Trump is just like the Taliban for diplomacy terrorism. Like he's just like, yep, that was us. Like it doesn't matter what happened. He's just like, yeah, that was me. I did that.
We did that. ISIS is like, no, we did it.
Peace.
Love this comment. Yeah, Sam, Waffle House rules. You wouldn't know that, you New England blue blood.
Oh yeah, is there no Waffle Houses in New England?
No.
Oh,
really?
You guys are missing out.
I mean, I've been
I just assumed Waffle House was everywhere.
No, they wouldn't survive in New England. Everybody's too uppity.
That sucks, dude. Waffle House is bomb. They cook everything right there too. Waffle House is good.
This isn't going away. Everything is accelerating. Buckle up. I mean, it's
accelerationist
that way. I think
got
accelerationists are people who try to speed things up, not people that think things are speeding up.
That's true. I guess
is that true though? Because I'm not confident in that. But I
feel like that's what they're trying to accelerate the collapse, from my understanding. Like they want this system to fall.
Iran or Trump or what?
Like
no accelerationists.
Like America, the American empire.
Yeah. You think the American empire is trying to accelerate it?
No, I think they're just doing it. Like they got they're like the crack whore that can't stop, dude. They got to keep going. They got to spin, expand, span. Like they don't know how to do anything else.
I mean, if they weren't doing it on purpose, how could they do it better?
Yeah. I think they just think they can. Like I just think they believe that we are the like when like the Soviet Union fell, they just believed that they could go around the world doing whatever they want now. Like this,
and they could for a while, but now they're still acting like they can when we don't have the same level of relative power. Like we were the biggest dog in the house or the biggest dog in the yard, and like we were acting like it for a while, doing whatever we wanted. By we, I mean the United States and its allies. But like that stopped being true a while ago because of the relative power of other nations. And
how much we've shot ourselves in the foot.
Right. And like a lot of the government is still acting like we're top dog and we're not being challenged, but it's just not true in the same way it was in the 1990s.
Right.
And that's going to cause problems. And that's when wars happen. If a country is clearly more powerful than the other one and the fight between them would look like the first Gulf War, then most of the time the war doesn't happen. And if it does, it's over in 100 hours, like the first Gulf War. Not counting trying to do an insurgency like the second Gulf War. But regardless, that's a separate thing because it's not the government in charge. But when two countries are like, when it's kind of up in the air, when they're at a similar strength level, that's when things get real dangerous, because then you have to have a knockout, drag out fight to decide who's really more powerful. If one side doesn't back down or you can't reach an agreement, if your disagreements are to the point where that becomes necessary. And that's kind of what we're getting towards. And honestly, I think the thing that might save us from war with China, which would be super destructive, is how reasonable China is.
Do you think they're reasonable?
I think they're relatively reasonable on international war. I don't think they're reasonable. I think in that context, internationally and with war, they are reasonable. I think they're unreasonable in a huge amount of other ways, but not in that way.
Would you say they're with trade? Are they reasonable?
I don't even think I'd use the word reasonable for trade at all. Just because, like, what do you mean for trade? What would being reasonable with trade look like?
Do you think they take advantage of the American system to benefit themselves? Like, for example, a lot of people complain about, so we have patent laws and intellectual property. Yeah. It's kind of respected here throughout the West to mostly, I would say. And China kind of just abuses that, where if they don't like the agreement with whatever American company and they'll ban that company and then just take their idea and basically make a Chinese version of it.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're reasonable in that, but it's also like a cultural thing in China. Like a bunch of, if anyone's gone to college in like the last 10 years, you know that you'll have foreign students from China who will cheat. And there just isn't the same like cultural belief against cheating, against like academic dishonesty that there is in America.
Does China punish that? Is that
I don't know. I don't want to speak out of turn. I'm not sure, but I know it's definitely not taken as seriously. Like here, it's very, very serious. Obviously, you can get expelled for doing it once, but
yeah,
I know that's not true there.
Yeah, like there was a viral picture. I think I forgot the college. UNC, maybe, I don't remember, but basically it was a Chinese kid, and when he got his diploma, he stood up with he was pointing to Chat GTP on his laptop, and he was saying like, this is how he is what's it called, the final paper, I forget. I never had to write one in college, but yeah, and it went viral because there was I don't remember, but there was like literal moms that were like, my straight A son here in America got rejected from this school, and it was like, well, that's
it was probably UNC Chapel Hill. Then that's like a really good public school, if that's what you're thinking of.
Maybe, yeah, that sounds right.
UNC right. Chapel Hill is like a top 10 or 20 public college.
Wow. Yeah. Well, yeah, and that I mean, that seems like something that, for all the people that say Trump's like very hard on China, he seems to be okay with. He just like is allowing more Chinese students to come here now. I think that was something he made a deal with, or
yeah, I thought he had stopped that.
I thought he stopped it.
I think that's the problem.
But he like made a deal with them, and like people were pissed online about it.
Yeah, I didn't realize. That's kind of the thing. That's kind of the thing that I've had a problem with Trump on this one, is at least in his first term, he seemed at least more hard stanced on some things, even if I thought they were the wrong things to be hard stanced about. Where this time around, he's like, we're deporting everybody. And then he's like, well, the leisure farming and blah, 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 we're not going to deport them. And then like 2 days later, we actually are going to deport them. And then there was the story on, we actually have a lot of good Chinese students and we're going to let them in, or we're deporting them all. And then we're going to let them in. And then it's so back and forth. This whole administration has been, for like the first 5 months, has been very like back and forth. It's crazy.
Yeah. So he was going to aggressively revoke a lot of Chinese student visas. And then in negotiations with their trade deal, he got them to accept some of their tariff rates while also guaranteeing a supply of rare earth minerals to allow Chinese students to continue to come to the United States.
Now,
why would China even care about that?
Why would the Chinese government care if their students are allowed? Exactly. Like, why?
I don't understand that.
Well, it implies to me that there is some sort of national goal that China has in regards to having students in the United States. I promise that the vast majority of those students, 98, 99%, are just coming here to learn. But that less than 1%, use the other 99% as cover to conduct spying and covert missions. Like, that is absolutely 100% happening.
Well, it was kind of like what's his face, Rubio talking with Tucker, where he's like, does Israel spy on Americans? Or Tucker was like, does Israel spy on Americans? And he's like, yeah, and we spy on them too. And I was just like, this is such a weird conversation. Like, I'm not saying we don't know, but things just get weirder and weirder. It's like this administration is just like taking a hammer to the fourth wall. And I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but they are just revealing everything. They're just cracking the fourth wall left and right. And it's like, well, then what are we doing? Like, what are we actually doing here? Because none of this makes sense if you're just going to say it. Like, if you're just going to say it, I don't know. I can't even wrap my mind around it, because it's like, are they our allies? Then why are they spying on us? If they're not why are we spying on them? Yeah, we spy on everybody. I get it, but absolutely. But it's just like, what are we doing here if we're just...
Yeah, but if we're the hegemon, if we're the one that supplies their like weapons and we give them security, I think it's like easy they might do it anyways, even if we but if you put the foot down and be like, hey, if we catch you spying, we will not give you funding, we will not give you weapons. Because we have the advantage, because we guarantee their security. We literally guarantee their existence within the region. And it just shows you the relationship between United States and Israel. it's not exactly that we're the ones in charge, because like why would we as the empire allow them to spy on us when we can just cut off their funding, cut off their security? Exactly. And it's just ridiculous that in Ted Cruz in that interview like just goes like, oh, it's no big deal because we all spy on each other. It's like, okay, but we have massive leverage over them.
We should get a quota of 20-year-old Israeli women every year for American incels. That's what we should get. Like 10,000 of them or something. Like we should get that every year for how much we do for them.
I think we can get that on paper. So
we should get it on paper.
Yeah.
If you broker the deal though, Trump's gonna take credit for it, Sam.
He can take credit for it as long as I get my Jewish milk truck.
Well, you might actually radicalize a bunch of Christian women in this country by doing that.
Yeah, dude.
Good. Double win. Absolutely double win.
Fuck them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just got. I feel like I say this on every show I'm on, or when we do our show. It just gets crazier. Like it just gets crazier.
Back off, Keebler. Every Shapiro is mine. It does. It gets
every week. It gets crazier. And it's like a Simpsons episode or, South Park or whatever. Like it just gets more and more Twilight Zone-esque.
Yes. Sorry, I'm distracted now.
The Iranian foreign minister says there is no agreement on any ceasefire of military operations.
Cool. So we just got lied to. I don't even know where that came from.
Trump.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Oh, the other one? The ceasefire or the non-ceasefire?
The non-ceasefire.
Non-ceasefire came from Iranian.
The Iranian foreign minister posting it on X.
Good Lord.
So
that's what I'm saying, dude. Confusing. It's all fake, dude. It's all fake and gay, bro.
World War III's back on the menu, boys.
Where we dropping? Where we dropping?
Yeah.
Tehran has a lot of transformers.
Yeah, we need to talk about that because they force gay men to have sex changes. So it's not like they're progressive. It's actually incredibly, incredibly messed up. It's very wrong.
They're like, oh, you gay? You have vagina now.
Dude, seriously.
Dude.
That's like not really that far off. It is a funny thing to think about, but then you think about what it actually means, and it's
it's horrible.
Yeah,
but if I ran wrong,
it's terrible.
Yes,
but it's also like it's terrible, but it's also like that's what's happening in our country. Like I don't know.
Oh yeah,
voluntarily.
Exactly. Because it's like a lot of data that I've seen that it says that like these people probably would have just ended up being gay, but because they were told that they were probably a boy or a girl at such a young age, they just assumed they were because they were attracted to the same sex. So
it was like easier to justify in their heads that they were a woman than that they liked men.
Stop tomboy erasure. That's the moral of this story, I think.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So I'm not saying that Iran's way is better. I'm simply saying that it's hard to throw stones from our glass house.
Yeah. Exactly. I had a guy on X trying to argue with me about like, oh, you don't care about how Lebanon blew up the Marine barracks in Lebanon. I'm like, no, like I do not blame Lebanese militants, and I actually don't blame Lebanese militants for blowing up a Marine barracks when we invaded their country. I blame Israel for getting us involved in that. It's their fault those Marines died. It's not like and I have to say this very carefully, if there was a foreign army that had set up a barracks in New England near where I live, what am I going to do? Probably the same thing they did.
Yeah.
I don't blame them for that at all. I'm going to join up with a group. I'm going to play IRA songs and and stuff's going to happen. And then there's the barracks will no longer be there.
Yeah, I like to imagine that if that day ever comes, maybe down the line, that some powerful foreign power or multiple powerful foreign powers are able to take over and move into the United States and basically do a regime change. I'd love to imagine that there'd be a majority population of Americans that would revolt. But every invasion that's ever happened, that is not the case. It's always it might be a minor minority or a major, like a small minority, but they have significant numbers that revolts. But most people just kind of go along with what's happening to their country. Like they just go along about their day. Just
want to do what they're doing. Nobody even cared during the Revolutionary War. It's estimated like 3% involved.
Yeah.
It's like I wouldn't, like, if you asked me when I was 15, I was like, yeah, I would, but like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go out and you're gonna go be a partisan where your family lives, where the regime might harm your family. You're gonna give up like everything. You're gonna stop doing your job. You're gonna spend your own money on weapons. Like, you're gonna risk death not only for yourself but your family. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to sit right here and I'm going to do my job and I'm going to try to stay out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just the cold reality of it.
If I lose my family, it's all right. Just kidding.
and really, but that's the thing. What if you don't have a family? What if you're a disaffected young man in the ages of 18 to 35?
And how many of those do we have right now?
That's most terrorists, dude.
That's where you get that's where you get problems. Guys that cannot have families. Oh well, might as well go do some cool stuff, like play operator for a little bit. Go get my 72 versions.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Muslim culture to know if like the being a martyr has been like a part of their culture for like a long time. But I can definitely see where it comes from when your country's invaded.
Well, it's like
you literally
culture,
have like
right.
Yeah, you have like robot planes flying over the sky, dropping missiles on your village. It's like, dude,
you're going to be the underdog. Underdogs are cool, not just in America.
Yeah.
Everyone loves the underdog.
There's something coded into mankind really, but men as well, young men, that it's like being counted out when your country is being invaded by other men. You're like, I'm gonna fuck these people up as somehow in some way, because fuck you, I'm from here. We have it in fucking football. Like in high school, we're just like, they're from two schools that are really close to us, they're our rivals, we're gonna go fucking murder them on a football field. Or they fuck them up. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just want to read this. We're almost done with the show. I have no idea how real this is, but I kind of want to read it for the bit. So Homeland Security has just approved a plan to build a detention center for undocumented immigrants surrounded by an alligator moat and pythons.
Is that
like Paris Island?
The Department of there's just like the second time I've seen it, so I don't know. But
unless the pythons and the alligators are just circumstantial in the area.
Well, it's in Florida.
Okay, well, that's just Florida. Like that, they could have just said Homeland Security is building a detention center in Florida. That is the entire thing. And some
the officials was like, are calling it Alligator Alcatraz.
Oh God, cool.
There's a whole video with it and everything, and it's got the Florida Chief of Staff James Uthmere shared more details about the location, revealing that it's a site on virtually abandoned airfield, originally intended to be the world's largest airport. A site includes a 11,000-foot runway, incapable of accommodating large aircraft for transportation and processing detainees. Uthmere emphasized that the facility would be temporary and naturally secure, surrounded by the Everglades' harsh and isolating environment, which he referred to as Mother Nature's natural barriers.
Everglades. Yeah, the Everglades are filled with pythons and alligators. So it seems like they purposely put it in the the Everglades then. Although that's also, I think, federal land. So it might just be also where they had land they could put it on. Is that federal land? Is the Everglades? I think so.
I believe a lot of it is. Most of it probably is. Right. You guys hear about, before we leave, do you guys hear about the Mike Lee shit? Like, fuck Mike Lee?
Oh, yeah, I said fuck Mike Lee.
Yeah, fuck Mike Lee.
Yeah, I made a post that literally, that all it said, I quote tweeted him and just said, fuck Mike Lee.
Did you see that typo? Did you hear about the Mike Lee shit?
No.
Oh, he's like trying to push a bill through that's like to sell 0.05% of federal land to, well, it doesn't say to who, but he's like, it will stimulate, and the federal government shouldn't. It's like super libertarian-esque, but like libertarian-esque before COVID. Exactly.
I think home builders, but probably not.
BlackRock, China.
Yes, home builders. 3 layers detached from BlackRock, essentially.
Yeah,
Indians.
Exactly. So I don't know. I just wanted to say fuck Mike Lee.
Right, fuck Mike Lee.
Yeah. He's a bitch.
Mike Lee, asshole.
Mike Lee, asshole.
Donald Trump, don't trust China. China is asshole. Iconic.
I don't remember where he's from.
I don't
Utah.
Care. Utah.
The bill says they don't have to say it. Gets sold for months after the bill goes through, and it's sold already.
Oh, not good. Georgia. He's from Georgia.
Isn't that in the big beautiful bill?
I think so.
I hate that bill.
There's a lot of shit in there. There's a lot of fucking shit in there.
He's from Mesa, Arizona.
He's from here, but I don't think he's representative here. Mesa's a shithole.
Wow. All right.
Were you on a show Friday, Typo?
Yeah, I was on Jay Forte's stream, and
hell yeah,
we talked for like 2 hours about. Well, we played this game. I forgot what it was called, but it was really fun. You like they give you a fact, you need to guess what date it was.
Ooh,
and it was
Jay Forte, send me that.
I sucked at it, man. I thought I would be good, but I missed like almost every. I think I missed every single one, and people.
There's a lot of dates out there, dude.
It ranged from like 1100 to 2006, I think, was the highest.
Was it like the closest year gets you more points, or did you have to get?
So was it A, B, and C?
No. It started from so you started with like it said 1885, and then you had to go. They give you a fact and be like, "Is this before or after?"
Oh, Jay Forte, send me that.
And then it gets bigger and longer and longer, and then there's like 20 dates on there, but now you have to go before the last one or after the last one, and then, or between all these other dates. Yes, that's what it's called.
I'm gonna look that up. I gotta play that.
He said the game is chronology, but they changed the rules to play it live. So
yeah, typically each player has to get their own sets of dates. So,
gotcha, but you guys all played it together.
Played it. Yeah, we played it with there was like 6 or 7 of us, and we played it on screen, and we all just had the same dates. Yeah, dude, but the people get cool ass questions, and I got like shit like I don't even remember. I don't remember because it was like I don't know I have no idea what this is. Do you remember when the cotton gin was built?
Like
Invented?
1802.
Yeah.
It was like 1796 or something.
So I got it like 8 years off. 1793. Yeah. Hell yeah. I got 9 years off. I would have got that.
Yeah. We were like, I know it's before slavery ended. That's all I know.
Apparently people think that they thought slavery was going to end, and then the cotton gin got invented and reinvigorated slavery, and they were like, oh crap. I swear to God, that's what historians say. And I mean, it's a complex argument, but I think they're right.
Oh, I only remember the first part, like that it was going to end slavery, and then I guess it helped end it in the North because they industrialized.
Well, they were already industrializing in the North, and the North never had the level of plantation slavery that the South did, and the Revolutionary War, everything. At least I can only speak for New England on this one, but New England had gradual abolition, so they ended slavery after the Revolution. Like as part of starting the country, they ended slavery, albeit like over time. And then the other states north of the Mason-Dixon did similar stuff.
Gotcha. Wow.
Well, can we do plugs?
Yeah. Follow me on MySpace. Just kidding. I'm going on Matt Beal this Friday. Limitless. That won't be out for I don't know how long after that, but I'll be recording that this Friday in Florida.
Hell yeah. Dope. Biden Bull has an episode coming out Wednesday. So go find it.
Yeah, sick. We got that coming out. I'm on Twitter at The Real Typo. Kyle Matovic, he's playing a show with like Guns N' Roses cover band that's like all chicks.
That's pretty cool, but you really shouldn't have paused after Guns N' Roses, although they're dead, right?
Why shouldn't I have paused?
Because it made it sound like he was just playing with
Guns N' Roses.
Oh.
And I freaked out for like half a second. It's okay. It was just funny.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, he's with Guns N' Roses. But no, and Adam's he's deported to Israel.
Taking it in the butthole. Oh,
yeah.
Same thing.
Like I said, he's in Israel. Yeah.
Adam is Jewish and gay.
Yeah.
Yep. So. He's not even Italian. He was faking that this whole time.
It's the closest thing genetically to Ashkenazi Jews. Actually makes sense.
We should have known from the nose, dude. Should have known from the nose.
Yeah, what about my nose?
Yeah, dude. I got it too. I got a schnoz.
Called a Roman nose.
Yeah, I broke it too many times too. So, but
yeah,
that was fun. That was a good one. I don't have anything left. Do you guys?
Adam is a Mossad agent. That's it. End stream. Unless somebody says something right now. Okay, bye.